Hello. So today I am doing a psychic reading for Infinite Waters, who is a YouTuber who I don't really know too much about, but I've been asked to do a reading for him, and I thought it, you know, sounded like an interesting person, so I thought I'd go ahead and do it. Yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Going to be doing a 7-layer aura reading where I just describe the energies of each layer of the aura, and then I'll look at some other questions at the end of it to conclude it all, I guess you could say. I'm just going to go ahead and get into meditation really quick here. When I connect to this energy overall, I see it as right now out of blue. Kind of funny, infinite waters, like you'd think blue. It's kind of like a dark blue. It's almost kind of like a deep, kind of stormy blue, if that makes any sense. I'm going to be looking for symbols represent or can be literal for each layer of the aura. The first layer represents safety, security, and survival. I'm seeing this coming in at a red. I'm seeing this this worm. It's like this. It's a cartoon figure worm, and it's very educated, and I mean it has glasses on, and it's got this sense of wisdom, like it's like a bookworm, I guess you could say. And there's something about this apple that it's trying to get into. But I see him eating the apple, actually, so this isn't... I'm trying to understand what does this have to do with the first layer here. It's almost like this worm is so wise and smart that it's like kind of cool and like almost like a badass, like it's kind of sneaky, like. Let's see. This is an energy that's been affecting him in some way. Let's see how this has been affecting him. It's like I see him eating this apple. It's like it's whispering in his ear this information. And it kind of makes him pause. That's what he's doing. This apple represents like his normal like knowledge that he would be taking in daily, like his kind of more natural, healthy kind of lifestyle. There's some sort of shock about this other information he's being fed in his ear. And it's kind of like scaring him, and it's almost like beyond, like bigger than life, so to speak. I'm trying to see what this means. It's like he's just so shocked he can't even respond, he can't even... Just has this look of just like complete shock, just like frozen. So what does this mean for his first layer of safety, security, survival? It's like he's kind of stuck in this. It's like he's just frozen, basically. Kind of stuck. First layer, let's try to understand what this means. What does this mean? Let's see. It's like I'm seeing it as he wants to go out surfing, he wants to go out doing things, in other words, and this is more symbolic than literal usually. So it's like he wants to go experience the world, but he's kind of stuck in this state of shock because of these things that he's been fed. So I'm going to see, what is this energy's interest? So this is like, it's like this energy that kind of feeds off of like shock, the shock value of things. And I'm going to see what happens when that energy isn't affecting him. And he's just way more down to earth. He's just way more like, chill, so to speak. And it looks like I see him being more kind of practical, kind of like a how to do video. Like I see him making like a YouTube video about like how to like build a chair, or like how to grow a garden, or like, you know, something more like that. Let's see, what is this truth? What is this spiritual truth regarding this energy of shock? I just see a giant wave come and like wash over him, wash everything away. So it's almost like this energy is kind of taking him over on some level. Let's see what his next step is here. Like what his spiritual next step would be, what his spirit wants from him. The spirit wants him to continue eating the apple that I saw before, which is like his just kind of daily routine, daily nourishment, taking care of himself, and not so much focusing on like the shock value information. So we'll move on to the next layer. Next layer is the second layer. This has to do with emotions, sensuality, and sexuality. I'm seeing this coming in at a blue again. And I saw him wanting to surf earlier, and now I'm seeing a picture of him surfing. Again, this is more symbolic than literal usually. He's surfing, and he kind of reminds me of Silver Surfer, and he's catching fish with a net. So this is the layer for emotions, sensuality, and sexuality. So it looks like this is what he wants to be doing again. This is like his ambitions. I guess catching all these fish at sea symbolically. So I just see him not really having exactly what he wants. It's like there's all this ambition to be like that. But I'm seeing him being like more by himself, more alone. And he kind of wants more of this, like, power, I guess you could call it. Maybe power is not the right word. Yeah, self-power, you could call it self-power. He wants this it's like he feels stuck. There's like this stuckness to him energetically, and yeah, he wants more of these powers to be able to go out and get what he wants in life. Just seems like he's just not really quite getting what he wants. Let me see what's in the way. It's like he's sitting in a chair, very, I want to say like you would be if you were at school with teachers. And it's as if he's very disciplined. So how is this stopping him? It's almost like I want to say it's almost like a dogmatic sort of thing, but I can't say that for sure. But that's kind of what it reminds me of. But it's more like just like a certain way of doing things where it's almost kind of introverted. Actually, I can relate to this on some level myself, where it's like you kind of establish a like where you are, and it's like this is where I am, and then kind of become this behavior. And it's kind of hard to break out of that routine. This looks like something that's from childhood, from way back, programmed into him since he was a child. And I see him explaining things, and it's like he's trying to explain and justify where he is. Let's see what his spiritual next step would be here. I see him getting this staff, and it's like comes from God or the other side or something. There's spiritual truth. I could just leave it at that, I guess. And the staff is like really powerful and amazing. And his reaction is like, wow, this is badass. And it's like, it kind of gives him the power to be like, the first thing I was looking at, him surfing. Let's see, what is this more about? This has something to do with his mother, actually. And this has to do with his mother's approval on some strange level energetically. And this is like his power over the approval energy of his mother that's been energetically affecting him, kind of programmed this sort of behavior into him on a subconscious level. So what is this staff more about? Let's see. It's like very powerful. I just see it like connecting the cosmos down to the earth. It's kind of like the staff of like Zeus or lightning or thunder or storms or something like that. So what does this mean for him? Basically just being able to do new things and having this cosmic energy connection. It looks like he's pretty grounded, but he could use more cosmic energy, if that makes any sense to you people out there watching this. I don't know. I'm not going to explain what it means, though. I'm going to move on to the next layer. So the next layer is the third layer. This has to do with doingness, willpower, things of that nature. I'm seeing coming in under green. I'm seeing him with a skull in his hand, and it's very primitive, like almost like he's in a primitive tribe culture, and I think he's chanting something. Um, and again, he's by himself. There's all these pictures. He seems to be very much so by himself. I'm not saying he doesn't know people or anything like that. I just mean like on an energetic level, you know, he's just very independent, I guess you could say. So what is he doing with this? It's like a invocation of some sort, like a magic ritual of some sort. This has to do with his intentions. And he's having a lot of fun doing this. It looks like he's really playing with his like willpower and intention, like on a very individualistic way. He's able to really hone in on these abilities. Looks like he puts a lot of time aside for himself and to do these sorts of activities. It looks like he's enjoying it. Kind of like it gives him something to do as well. It's like an activity. I don't know if he's literally doing rituals, but I don't think this is. I'm seeing it more like him walking around in like an island kind of. I don't know where he lives, but it's like palm trees kind of. And like just being able to wander around, and it's almost like he's allowing, you know, synchronicity or the universe to guide him on some level, but he's also got his intention. So it's not so much synchronicity, but it's like his intention is guiding him on some level in this. So I'm gonna move on to the next layer. Next layer is the fourth layer. The fourth layer has to do with your affinity for others, your identity, love, your affinity for yourself as well. I'm seeing this for him coming in a yellow. So I'm seeing him playing with this. It looks like a stuffed animal, and it looks like one of its eyes is coming out. It's almost like he's trying to take care of it and put it back together. This is like a really old toy from way, way, way back. I'm not getting that this is his. This is like someone else's he's taking care of. So, what is this? This is like he's taken on a lot of energy from other people, and he's caring for. It's like people are grounding to him, and he's kind of responsible for them. Kind of like a guru sort of situation on some level. That would make sense with his videos. Regardless of whether or not it makes sense, that's what I'm seeing. I'll clear out the energy of trying to make sense. Don't need to try to make sense here. That's not what I'm doing. Okay. So he's caring for this. It's almost like he's taken on other people's responsibilities for their life, and I'm seeing other people It's like these other people are kind of like kneeling to him, they're kind of pausing, and there's a little bit of introspection here, so there's a little bit of awareness being created here, but there's a little bit of stuckness again. There's a lot of, I keep saying stuckness type of situations, just being stuck on some level. But this isn't him that's stuck. This is people's energies, other people's energies that he's taking care of, that have grounded to him. Let's see, what is this about? He's kind of like the caretaker. And it's like he's calling on the universe, like he's just kind of like yelling out at the universe, like he has all this divine power. Is basically the message that he's identifying with. And because of that, it's like he can take on all these other problems of other people. And it looks like he's finding his best way that would work to go about it. And it's like he is helping. He is moving the energy along a little bit. But what I'm also getting is that the people on the other end, they're not doing it for themselves. And so they're kind of stuck still. And so they're actually like not moving like energetically. Like stagnant energy is not ever, as far as I understand, not ever thought of as being a helpful thing. And it's like they're kind of stuck on like waiting for him to do it for them. And it's kind of like the saying, you can teach someone to fish rather than just, or you can give someone fish, or you can teach them how to fish. I'm trying to see these other people, like, is this really helpful for them? Looks like initially, like at the very beginning, it can be helpful, but then after a while, it becomes, like an addiction. Then you don't move on from there. So I'm going to go ahead and see how this affects him. So it's like, I don't think he really cries about this, but I'm saying like the energy of like crying. But it's like he's able to transmute this energy. So he really is able to heal this. There's definitely healing going on. Let's see, what does he get out of this? It's kind of like his way of being social on an energetic level. Let's see, what is this truth? I'm seeing the guy, what is that movie, The Green Mile? I could be off on the name. The black healer guy who's in prison, and I think he gets executed in the end for crimes he didn't commit. So why is that coming up? So this is like the energy of things he didn't do. He's kind of taking it on and dealing with it. Kind of like an empath. Of course, you don't have to do that just because you're an empath. But that's kind of the party line, at least. And so that's why he's crying on some level. So what is his next step spiritually regarding all this? I see him throwing a boomerang and flying a kite. So what does this symbolize? So this boomerang is him throwing this, all these concerns. I'm seeing it as people's concerns, other people who have these ideas in their head, and it's like they're staying up all night thinking about these things, and it's like it's like he's responsible for telling them the answers. I'm seeing him chucking that. I'm not saying it being a boomerang that comes back. I'm just saying him throwing it and just like sticking it on the ground somewhere. And I'm leaving it and then flying this kite instead. So let's see, what does this kite represent? I don't know why I'm getting something about his mother showing up. I'm going to clear that energy out and see what's behind it. So this is about him finding, just like being able to say his truth, speak his mind, say whatever he wants. And so it looks like he's in this trap of having to take care of people and deal with other people instead of being able to really speak his mind. And it looks like that's become a little taxing on him. Let me see a little more. How does this affect his YouTube videos? I see him just trying to explain something, like kind of over and over. Like as if people don't already get it. Like he has to explain it again and again. And I'm seeing it as like blankets, like layers of blankets, like going on and over. And it's like he just has to explain through each one over and over again and again. And it's like he can't just really say what he's trying to say. It's like he has to explain it, if that makes sense. Like when you're trying to be artistic, but then like you're trying to explain like rationally why you're doing what you're doing. It's like that. It's like he's not able to fully express himself. Seems to be the energy of all this responsibility of being a YouTuber, I suppose. So we're going to move on to the next layer. So the next layer is the fifth layer. This has to do with communication. I'm seeing this coming in at a green. I'm seeing him, and it's like he's on a phone and there's no one on the other end. And he's just kind of there by himself talking. And it becomes like an internal talk to himself. It's like it's kind of echoing back to him, and it becomes very like he's almost talking to different parts of himself back and forth. So he's coming to some sort of philosophical conclusions. So yeah, it's like he's talking to himself basically, is his way of communicating, is what I'm saying. It's self-explanatory. I'm going to move on to the next layer for the sake of time. This is the sixth layer. This has to do with clairvoyance. It can do with how you're seen by other people as well as how you see other people. I'm seeing this as a blue again. There's a sense of desperation I'm sensing in him. And he's looking, I'm seeing a a picture symbolically where he's looking out at this ship. It's all like on an island. I don't know if he lives on an island or what, but that's how I'm seeing it. And it's like he's fascinated. He's waiting for this ship to come up. And behind him, I'm seeing it's like one way I've heard it described is the cosmic vagina. That's probably the worst way I could describe it, but it's like a portal way, I guess. And it has the Mary, like Jesus' mother, as like the goddess, like standing in there, kind of to the side of it. And it's like he's so like connected with that and so part of that on some level, like this feminine Gaia mind. And then he's looking at this ship and it's like men coming in this ship. It's like more male energy is what I'm getting at. And it's not like he's just like fascinated, or he's not fascinated. It's more like he's just like curious. He's he's not scared. He's not excited either. He's just like mathematical about it, if that makes any sense. Like he's really seeing it for what it is. A very neutral perspective here. Almost very calculated on some level. So what does this mean for him? It's like the way that he interacts with people is what's coming up. It's like he's really able to... He sees things from this divine, feminine type of energy. We'll see a little bit more about what that's about. Like he spends a lot of time in relaxation and by himself. Like he's really able to tap into himself. And so other people on some level are kind of like he almost has to study them and watch them, because he's kind of out of the social circle, out of the social game, I guess you could say, on some level, in some aspect. Yeah, so that's interesting. I'm going to move on to the next layer. Next layer is, I'm seeing coming in red. This is the layer that represents the connection to higher self and the divine. So I'm seeing him shooting a slingshot, and it's like bouncing off this like golden sun and back and forth of these golden suns up to this the ultimate golden sun. God, I guess you could say. It's like he's sending a message with this rock he's shooting. And God is like, hello. I literally see it as like a cartoon thing that sticks out and says hello. I'm not hearing it, I'm seeing it. But he doesn't really have any message he's saying. He's just like kind of like thing, like just trying to see if he can get a message there. It's almost like how a kid would just kind of shoot a slingshot at something just to kind of see what happens, basically. There's something kind of innocent and almost childish about this. I don't mean childish in a negative sense at all. Just like experimental. And it looks like he has this communication, but it's like there's like he doesn't fully. It's like he does, but he doesn't, because he has to do like this tricky thing to get it in, and and he's not really hearing the hello back. It's like he is, but he doesn't trust that it's real. So it's interesting. So in the last picture I saw him really having this deep connection with the divine feminine, but then the divine masculine Godhead, I'm not seeing him having quite the trust in it. And I'm seeing, as I'm saying that, I'm actually seeing like this divine, feminine thing behind him, and it's really like she's whispering in his ear, and he is totally lined up with that, so to speak. I want to see a little bit more about what is this, why is this, how does this affect him? I see him like sleeping a lot, like he gets things from his dreams, like he's very, that's kind of the feminine, the more like less active. Male is more active, I guess you could say, energetically. So he receives more information more passively, like it just kind of comes to him. But there's like this interaction with things where he's experimenting, and he doesn't quite trust his own ability on some level. And so like if it doesn't come to him on its own accord, so to speak, he doesn't entirely trust it. So what does this mean for his YouTube channel? That's probably what people want to know about anyways. What does this mean for his YouTube channel? So I just hear him saying, I don't know about that. And it's not so much that he's literally saying that on his YouTube channel, it's more that that's the thought process going on in his mind. And I see him kind of going back to the stuff that he's picked up from like this more like passively receiving things, less like actively seeking answers, kind of just like they just kind of come to you when you fall asleep or something like that. And I see him just kind of really kind of circling with that, just like going back to it, and like just kind of circling around, and it's like he kind of wants to go. It's like he's happy with it, and he's proud of what he's done, and he enjoys it. But there's like, it's like he's not even aware that he could have this other type of like more male energy that he's working with, that he just isn't working with. And it's almost like, yeah, he's not aware of it on some level. But he sees aspects of it within this feminine energy, like there's little pieces of it, kind of like the yin yang. There's like a piece of the black inside of the white, and the white inside of the black. Let's see more about this. It's like his way of reaching enlightenment, if you want to call it that, is by sitting down and closing his eyes, but like in this passive way where he kind of tunes out, and it's not so much about being direct and like controlling his like. It's like he kind of sets his intention and then he kind of gives up. It's kind of like the saying that give in to the universe, and he kind of takes out to heart, like kind of just let the universe do it for you, and that works. I want to see what is he not getting that he could be getting. What would he get to have if he did learn more of this other side of the story? I'm seeing him walking the beach, and I'm also seeing that this picture of him where he has his hands up in the air and he's like, and it's like the storm energy coming down, and he's like a wizard almost, which is pretty cool on some level for sure. But like in this picture, I'm seeing that it's like it's not as like grounded and real as this more like sunny picture where he's just walking along the beach, and it's like there's no need for that. Like there's no need for the intensity. It's just it's like it's more there. Okay, so I'm seeing what it is. I'm seeing why that is now. I'm saying that, okay, this makes total sense with everything that I've read so far. This is more him like being able to. I'm seeing him like giving a high fives to some dude, some guy, and it's like he's able to really embrace this like male interaction more so than where he's more satisfied, and it's like this other, like being so much so of just like this divine feminine energy. It's like it takes all this effort to kind of build up this pressure to like create this identity, create this like something cool about himself, to be able to feel good about himself in relation to other people. And it's almost like he has to do a magic trick in order to be satisfied. And that's kind of this lack of the male energy here that allows him to kind of open up more in like a social sort of way. Let's see, how does this play out? It's almost like before he's got like this wrath, like he's like trying to really prove something. Like he's found the golden gem, or he's found this jewelry, like this treasure, and he's gotta like almost like strike fear, or not fear, but like turn it into like this wizard magic trick to make it of more value. But this other energy, he's able to not be so stuck in that. It's more real, more down to earth. He's able to communicate with more people more easily when he develops this energy. I'm not saying he doesn't have any of this energy at all. I'm just saying like it's a little like really one-sided, and he's kind of guarding himself away from it to be more introspective, which is great. Nothing wrong with that. But when he gets to have more of this energy, he's able to really connect more with the web, is how I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it as a web he's connecting with everyone through. And it's like he's able to talk about technology. I don't know why technology is showing up. Technology, um, advances in science and like things like that that maybe, I don't know what he really talks about, but I get the sense that he doesn't necessarily talk about those types of things so much. But he's able to really tie in like his philosophy into the world more, into like what's going on. Um, and I don't mean like just like superficially, like politically. I mean like really like breaking science, like new ideas that are coming out, like solutions, like new inventions, new ways of doing things. Being kind of less in the head, like living in your head, and like a little bit more being action oriented, like being involved with the external world, kind of coming out of the bedroom, coming out of the house, and like mingling more with other people is basically what I'm seeing here. I'm gonna see how would that affect his YouTube channel. I'm seeing him just having like things to show, like ways of doing things, kind of like do-it-yourself instructional videos of like cool ideas, like how to survive in the world, or how to not so much survive, but how to like do things, be self-sufficient or whatever, you know. Less theory and more practice. So I'm gonna go ahead and see, you know, just the general energy of his YouTube channels, I guess. I'm seeing a mouse crawling underneath a rocking chair. His grandmother and this dog is chasing this mouse. And it's got I'm sorry, this is a weird long story. The dog catches the mouse, runs off, and he comes up and sees this going on. And he's like, hey, give me that mouse back. So what does this mean? What does this have to do with the YouTube channel? So there's a sense that knowledge is being stolen from him, like on a personal level, but also like the whole world, like the sense of injustice within the world, and that's represented by the mouse. And the dog is like stealing this, stealing all this, you know, just creating this injustice. And it's like he has to be there to give discipline to this dog. So I guess to discipline this dog to be like, hey, like don't kill that mouse. Don't, you know, that's injustice. There's this grandmother lady in the pictures. I'm gonna see what this has to do with. She's just like, you know, knitting a quilt. What does this mean? This is like the women, older women in his family, but also in society. Kind of represents all of that. Who are just kind of going along, you know, kind of like almost want to say represents nature, but it's not really nature. It's more just like holding things together, but not really worried about injustices. Just kind of like taking care of the family, continuing on the family. And it's like his job is to take care of these injustices. It's basically the energy of the YouTube videos is what I'm seeing here. Or to kind of like discipline this dog. So let's see, I'll look a little more on this dog. This dog is saying, I don't know what to do. And that's what I'm hearing in my head, at least if I focus on it. And it's confused. And it's been misled. And this represents men in society. And it's like this dog's chewing on a bird, and it's kind of like guilty, you know. It's like, look at me, look what I've done. Like, I killed this bird. This bird has to do with grace. So I'm going to clear all of this out and just like look at him without all these interactions, just to kind of see like more what's going on here with the YouTube channel. And he just wants to educate people. He's just kind of down to earth, just like, yeah, I just want to talk about. He just wants to talk about the things that he thinks are important. Let's see, what is his spiritual truth here? So I'm seeing him as a king. There's almost a sense of like stagnant energy about being a king. It's kind of like when you put on a ring and it's kind of limiting to like movement, but you kind of just keep it on because of what it represents. But it's kind of like you don't necessarily like it's not necessarily comfortable. It's kind of like the situation. Let's see what is his next step. What his spiritual next step would be, could be. So I don't know what this means, but I'm seeing him with a gun shooting this bird now, which is kind of strange. So what does this mean? And the dog is pissed because he shot the bird that this dog was trying to eat. So a really weird thing I'm saying here. I'm trying to decipher. So why did he shoot this bird? Just getting that this bird was telling him what to do. A sense of like a false sense of justice. Like it wasn't So this is a type of energy that's affecting him, that's been like the proper way to be type of energy that's preventing him from really saying the ultimate truth, and this is affecting his YouTube videos and making him kind of stagnant, kind of going in circles and not really like going beyond, just kind of like emphasizing what he's already said and making himself into a king out of it is the way that I'm seeing it. And this dog is also affecting him, and this is also an energy that is affecting him. I'm going to see how this is affecting him too. This has to do with his heart chakra, and this is bringing him down on some level. It's almost like making him sad. It's making him feel like he has to kneel, and like he's grieving. He's grieving for something. I'm trying to see what this is. His father's death or something like that. Like he has to pay respect towards something. So how does this affect his YouTube channels? It's like blocking a little bit of creativity. It's making him kind of, satisfied with the information he has already and not seek out further information. Because it creates this sense of grieving, which kind of creates this sense of kind of almost giving up on some levels. And like, okay, I'll sit in the throne. Even though it's a throne, it's like a, let's see, what is this throne about? I'm seeing it, it's like a plastic throne. And he's miserable when he's sitting in it. But it's like, it's what everybody wants from him. All the YouTube land wants him to sit in this throne. Makes him, the king of the YouTube channel. Let's see. Yeah, there's just so much pressure on him from YouTube and whatnot that it's like he's kind of almost stuck in his own head about what's going on in YouTube. I want to say kind of dogmatic-like. Looks like what he could really use is just like a vacation from it all. I'm not saying like a break, I mean like a vacation where he can like really kind of like lose himself, so to speak, or lose that part of himself which isn't himself, which is actually all the responsibility and demand on him to have everyone else's answers and to have these coherent answers, kind of like put everything in a box, so to speak. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end this reading. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, like it, give it a thumbs up. subscribe to my channel, check out my other videos, share the video, hit that notification bell, and if you hit the notification bell, set it to all notifications so you get notified for all of my videos. I don't think you get notified for very many of them unless you click all. And if you do, and you don't want to be emailed, you can just change your settings so that you don't get emailed every time you get a notification, because I wouldn't want that. Thanks for watching.